And then it's just a delay, so it should be popping up. And remember, once it comes up, pause that video because you don't want that playing. Wait till it comes up. So it should be just a second here. And it looks like we're up.
Paused.
Yep, and we're playing back. So I'm paused. And let everybody know out there, welcome. We're getting up and running. Let us know, obviously, the usual, if you can hear us and see us. Good. Welcome to live chat. Okay.
I am having just technical difficulties.
What is new? Oscar, do me a favor and pull that microphone, just swing it back just a little bit. There you go, so it's not blocking you. Very good, since we don't have a second person on the mic tonight. What's up, Ryan and Oscar? Jackson.
Yep, Jackson's in there. Dan, Tim, Ross.
Good, guys.
Russ Roberts is in there.
Both good here. Dan Dockery says good, so you can see us. Both good, you can hear us. Both good here. Good. All right. That's what we want to know, guys. With that said, we're just going to get started. Really glad that you guys are joining us live. And we're glad to have you part of this episode, especially because me and Oscar have been, well, we'll get into a little bit more of what we've been up to today.
Eating.
That's true. That's very true. Let's get this thing started. Oscar, what do you say?
Let's roll.
Oh, yeah, once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. And you might want a Rick Rack system, Oscar, for this year's in 2019 Law-Abiding Biker and Sworn Few motorcycle trip, dude. We have your...
Sure. Yes, I'm up and running.
You are. Did we get you a rack?
Yes.
I did.
And a sack.
So I told you to go to Rick or something. And a sack.
You can't remember.
I'm so busy. Sometimes I just have to.
But I like to tease you about it.
That's good. Did I get you? Did we get you one?
Yes.
So it's all hooked. So now we just got to film it a little bit.
Yes.
I want to show it on your bike. Awesome. So Oscar, there you go. We had a bag.
Excited.
We had a bag for you. We were waiting. I needed to get Rick
got it
to send you.
Yep.
Just stellar. Listen to this.
Stellar.
Hey guys, Aaron Christofferson here, patron member. Also a Leo down here in Oregon, just south of you guys, or Oregon for maybe any East Coasters. But had some ideas maybe for some future podcasts that I think would be interesting anyway. Maybe getting some of the other patron members from other states, maybe via video chat or something like that, talking about some of their favorite rides or places to ride in their respective areas. Anyway, I just think that it'd be cool to hear about what other people are experiencing where they are, and would like to know what else is out there. Anyway, thanks for your time, and really appreciate what you guys do, and love what you're doing. Thanks.
And we thank you so much for the voicemail. How did he leave that? lawabidingbiker.com/contact. Right on our contact form. Left that from his computer from anywhere in the world for free. And you guys can just use your built-in microphone, and we love the feedback. To answer that question really quick, I think that's a great idea. And this platform's always open. And I've told you guys that as you've seen it develop over the years. We've had lots of patrons on. We have different special guests. I'm always open to those ideas as long as, that it's good content. It's going to serve the audience is my main concern. That sounds like it would definitely serve. So if you guys are interested, if you're a listener and you want to talk about something in your particular area, like we have done about certain rides around this area, we've given you guys like the 3-pass ride and some things like that. If you have some unique things in your area, definitely hit us up. You guys know how, lawabidingbiker.com/contact, leave us a voicemail, whatever. And we'll see if it works into an episode. We can get you on Skype or something like that. Just understand if we do that, you would pretty much have to come prepared to talk about, I would ask the questions somewhat. You would have to come prepared to talk about the roads and different attractions in your area that you want to share with the rest of the biker community. And this is the platform. This is this platform I considered owned by you guys, the members, the patron members. And if somebody wants that kind of information, I think that's very beneficial. In fact, just planning today.
Yeah, it
you
was
know?
awesome. We were thinking, man, I wish we knew someone here because this looks cool, but you don't know.
Yeah.
We sit around and talk rides all the time. Is awesome. So you get a platform to just offer up what you think are great rides and why. That's awesome.
Yep, absolutely. So we're open to that. Again, just hit us up on the old contact form there. All right. Here we go. Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for your Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike. Affordable chrome lighting and comfort products, and CAN bus made simple with a plug-and-play lighting system, guys. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products. There you go. It's the gold. You know where that was from, dude. It's the gold.
LD's calling.
What's LD doing?
He's calling me out for drinking water.
Yeah, straight up, dude. LD, I'm not going to disappoint.
See, there you go. There you go.
I won't disappoint. You know that. So
I'm going to take a big pull off this right now.
Yeah. LD, good to have you in there, buddy. Appreciate it. So, all right, let's get right into this episode. Let's get it started. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority. That's right, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. I guarantee it. That's right, guys. By listening to this very podcast, by being here live via the video broadcast in the chat, you are part of what we call
I have no idea.
the biker revolution. Oscar's, hey, he's stepping it up a notch.
I brought a laptop. I found it on the street earlier, and I thought, hey.
He's over here with a laptop chatting it up.
Hey.
Better than his foot, so I'm not going to dog him too much, just a little bit. But anyways, he's part of the biker revolution over there on his laptop. That's right. Hashtag biker revolution. There you go.
I've never seen that.
We do have just one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up.
Let us take you.
Oh.
Finish it.
On a wild-ass
On
ride.
another wild ass ride. That's right. Oh, rough start. Rough start. That's right. Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast, and your
I think I'm supposed to remember this one.
high-tech redneck. There you go. I said it for you.
High-tech redneck.
There you go. Oh, God. Oscar in rare form. Hasn't been that long, dude.
I know, but I didn't know. I didn't get a chance to practice my script. We were supposed to have it on the wall, with the projector. And
Oh, speaking of, dude, you didn't tell me.
oh, the TV's not on.
Just listen to that for a second, folks.
Yeah, I'm totally distracted.
I got to turn on the. We went in for dinner and the monitor.
Oh, it shut off.
Yeah, it just blacks out while it comes back.
You know,
on.
as you get older, it's harder to split your attention.
True.
And I'm old.
True. So thank you, Oscar, for being here. This episode is all about, we're getting started early because we have to. It's all about our 2019 motorcycle road trip that we take lots of different trips, but this is our big one that not only the Sworn Few Motorcycle Club takes, which we're all associated with, it also intermixes with Law Abiding Biker Media. And as you know, since we started Law Abiding Biker Media, maybe 2 years after we started the patron thing, and the first meetup was a couple guys, and then it was 8, and then 10, and then this year in the Midwest, it was like 20 something. So it's a continuing tradition. And so we like to get the information out early, not only because we want to give you guys a heads up. Everybody's got schedules and whether they can make it, but also that we can call on some help for the patron meetup part of it. And all that kind of stuff. And we'll give you an idea what it's all going to be about, as specific as we can be. Oscar and I spent the last 4 hours.
6 days, basically.
So basically 6 days. A month ago, we did a rough draft. We did a rough draft of kind of what we wanted to do, where we wanted to maybe go, and got some really rough ideas. And then we had planned this. We got together today, 4 hours ago, and we took that rough draft, having a good idea about what we wanted to do, and we just dialed in a ride plan. We had Google Maps up and Ride Planner. I've got another document with days and times and how many gas stops and where we're eating lunches, and all the stuff that goes into these ride plans. It'll be like an 8-day one, and I'll give you a little more specific as we get into the episode. But that's what this is about. We're rolling right off that, and so it's fresh in our mind, and we've got all these details. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. We want to hear back from you guys, some chat. Basically, this is still considered a pretty, it's still a little bit rough just because we can change things here and there to a little bit. We can manipulate some things. If something comes up in chat that maybe we should do this, we'll definitely take some notes and look at it. And then we'll talk about the patron day and the patron ride and all that kind of stuff. Anything to add to that there, Oscar, on this episode? So that's what it's going to be about.
I mean, basically, we did it in 4 hours. I think LD takes like 4 months. And I don't know what it takes so long.
Jeez Louise, dude.
It was pretty quick, but, you know.
Straight calling Law Dog out, dude.
I did.
What's up with that?
On the chat, too. Yeah.
By the way, well, Rob's got Rob over there has a LD, you guys know him as, has a new little endeavor, but I don't know if he wants me to talk about it. I wasn't going to say a whole bunch other than he's got something exciting in the works. So I'm glad to have him in here in the chat. He's usually, Rob's usually our ride planner. He does a lot of the ride planning, and then I get involved too because I have to do the patron part of it. But Rob is usually instrumental in that. The reason is Rob's not sure this year for the first time, I think, or no, it would be the second time because he didn't go to Colorado with John and Sturgis Jeff with me, but he might not be able to go. So this year, Oscar wasn't able to go last year. So some of the guys with families and how much vacation we have, they're kind of alternate. So it is me and Oscar in charge this year solely. So as we go through this episode, if you have anything you need to talk to us about from here on out until the actual patron event and that kind of stuff, you can hit me up. Most definitely admin@lawabidingbiker.com. And I'll forward whatever, if I need to forward something to Justin, but just one email address, admin@lawabidingbiker.com, and we'll get a little bit more involved in that as we go in to this episode. But I see we have, of course, like usual, a lot of patrons in there.
Yep.
And I definitely want to thank the following patrons for sponsoring this episode. Why don't you do that, Oscar?
Gucci Pilot of Woodland, California. Gene Brown of Vail, Arizona. He's a top tier. And Alex Brink of Mebane, North Carolina is also top tier.
lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. That's right. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits, t-shirts and stickers. You can get access to these live video broadcasts and live chats, up to access also for our top tiers to our premium tutorial videos up on request. So thank you, patrons. It's very important that you guys are in here for this episode. So here we go. This is just going to be an open discussion, and I've got a bunch of stuff up here, Oscar. If we need to refer to this, I'll show you on the monitor.
I want to say that I was giving LD crap, but there is a lot to do. You know, if like you're going to jump on your bike by yourself, it's no big deal, or with your spouse or whatever, but for what we're doing, that's a lot. And so I appreciated what LD's, and all gas stops and food stops.
Right.
There's a lot that goes into it.
And we usually don't plan. I'll say this. We usually don't plan. I think we went a little bit more just because I always did that anyways. Rob would put out the days and the miles and hotels, and then I would start looking, and I would make my own notes that I just shared with, I didn't share them with them, they're just myself.
Right.
And I would look for breweries and attractions, and I would throw in a whole bunch of other stuff that he didn't have. So what we did this year is added it in. I'm going to share this document with all the guys local here that are going on this trip. So they have hotels and phone numbers, and right here, get your interagency pass and all this, and gas stops, how many gas stops a day and what cities we're stopping. It just takes the guesswork out of it a little bit.
Right.
When we just go, I can focus on, filming the documentary film and having fun with you guys. And we can just look at our schedule for the day and go, okay, no big deal. We're going to stop for gas here, here, and here. We're stopping for lunch in this city. This is where we're eating already. And it just takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. But all this stuff can change too. If we're on the trip or we hear something tonight, or we were on the trip and we go, oh, hey, I heard somebody say you got to stop here if you're going to this place. Well, certainly we can. This is a flexible document schedule.
LD, where he gets it from, maybe his vast social network, but he always pulls out of his ass some interesting freaking thing we have to do for whatever we're going. We didn't really do that so much. We picked some cool roads, but he comes up with like, oh, we have to go to this, haunted hotel. or we have to go over here to this strip joint or whatever. I mean, club thing, a bar. I meant golf.
Right.
Golfing. Yeah, golfing.
David,
but he always comes up with cool stuff like that too. So we didn't do that. That's the one thing we left out. We planned more into the day-by-day stuff.
Right.
I think.
And we can always add stuff like we say to this. So that's kind of cool. David Schwartz of Israel says, I haven't decided when I'm coming to the States this year, so I will try to make it according to when the meetup day will be. How cool is that?
That would be very cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. All right. So we're going to tell you, and we'll lead up to Patron Day as we go along. Just if you guys have a road or something. But again, let me start with this. Okay, because you guys will find this interesting. There's two different types of trips that you can take, and we've taken both over the many years of riding together now. And Law Abiding Biker's been around a little over 6 years now. Last year, and Rob Law Dog will tell you, we hit hard. We hit it hard. It was a 10-day trip, guys. I am in the middle. I'll talk about that. I'm in the middle of
editing.
Yeah.
That's a big word. Write it down so you don't forget.
Why don't you, at the end of this, I'll talk a little bit about the documentary film, but from the Midwest trip, it's a 10-day. I'm 70 plus hours into it and barely halfway through it. So it's going to be a great film. I'm excited about this documentary film. I put my films, I put more effort than this, even to the Canada one. Each year, and you learn new skills. And anyways, we hit it hard last year, and it's clear from going through this documentary, I don't remember a lot of things because we hit it so hard. Long days. It was destination riding. We had so much that we needed to get done. That is what it is, and we knew that going into it. But some of the guys, and it's so, and I don't, necessarily mean that means you're a pussy or anything like that. It could mean that, but some of the guys. Thanks, Russell. Can't wait to see the documentary. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. It's next level. So, but I'm excited about it. I just push myself too hard sometimes. I think
you get tired. You just
I get too anal, and I about how I do it and the story I'm telling, and I read just anyways. So some of the guys don't want to go on those long trips. Some guys here would rather, and I'm both ways, and you can tell me. Oscar, some of the guys are like, I would rather ride less, even though they're still long days.
Yeah.
We're still not just riding 50 miles to lunch. These are still hundreds of miles a day. But instead of doing the 12, 13-hour days and barely getting in time to drink a beer and shove food down your throat and go to bed so I can be up at 5 to get my drone shots and my time lapse and all that, you're talking that 10-day trip. I was working on 4 hours of sleep a night for 10 days. That is hardcore. There wasn't a lot of there was some scenic riding, but a lot of it was freeway at 107 degrees through Gallup, New Mexico. So there's that type of riding, which is cool. And I wouldn't change that experience for anything. Absolutely. As I go through this documentary film and tell this story, it's amazing. And what a great time I had. But there's this type of trip this year. We really wanted to not do that. We want some of the guys that aren't really into that, that may want, and I'm due for a little bit more relaxing trip. I'm due. I'll tell you that right now, because that was a long one. And so going into this, we dumbed down the days. It's only an 8-day. It was hard for a lot of guys to get 10 days off around here. Remember, we're all working full-time Leos for the most part. And so we dumbed it down to, we still got some hella days in here, but we dumbed it down a little bit so that we have more time at the places we visit, and we can experience things more. Oh, no. What's up?
I think Jackson wants me to sing Amarillo by Morning.
Oh, nice, dude. Yeah. He didn't even visit Amarillo. He wasn't even with us this year. But
I can sing. I might sing it. You have
sang it before.
Oh yeah, yes, I have.
Please do. So that's kind of what we're working off here, right? We wanted to make it shorter. We wanted to have we've
got some long,
we want to work
100-mile days in there. Maybe some 75. No, I'm just kidding.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
To a lot of people, this would still be like, holy shit, those are. But for us, it's like these are actually more reasonable days.
One of the things we run into being, when we're retired, that'll change things. But when you're still working, there's only so far you can go in about a week. And so if you only scenic ride, 200 miles a day. You don't really go anywhere. So we cover the state of Washington. And then, but on the other hand, when you destination ride to get away, you lose out on some of the scenic riding. So it's just a little bit of a balance. So yeah, we're looking at like 300 to not quite 500 mile days here and there. And you see, if you do a 450 day and then the next day's 300, you get a little rest instead of just hard pounding, 500 or 600 miles a day. So yeah, I like both. I like sometimes I can destination ride. Hey, let's go to Minnesota. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
but some of our guys are, I'll tell you, there's a few guys that are like, nope, don't want anything to do with that. And so they're obviously, if we do another Midwest trip, they're just like, I'm not going. They don't want to get up at 4 in the morning every morning. They want to sleep in a little bit. They want to maybe stay out till 11:30, and have some drinks. And I get that. And I'm actually looking forward to that. So with that said, as we look at this trip, let's just get into it. Cause as usual, dude, I can just talk. I love talking biker stuff like this in the chat. I absolutely have to keep on track because I love this environment. And
basically, we're never on track.
We're never on track, dude.
So it's okay to get off track a little bit.
Welcome, Joe. Whoever Joe is in here. Joe, hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. No problem. Live chat's blowing up. So good. So, Oscar, anything else before we take it into day one and just move through this thing? Okay. Let me get up this because we will need this. All right. Now, we can run. I've got Ride Planner up. Ride Planner was a pain in the ass today, like usual, guys. Obviously, I've got my for purchase tutorial video on it that'll show you how to use it best, but it's always, each time I go into it, it's got a little bit different glitches and stuff. Oscar saw some of them today. That was kind of frustrating. So, all right. So day one, 8 days, guys. And I'm not going to give the exact dates yet, like the exact date, but I will tell you it will be mid-June, towards the latter part of June 2019. I will give you the patron day when that comes up. I guess it doesn't matter. These probably aren't going to change, but it looks like we're leaving June 16th. And so we'll run into a patron day as we get farther on here. But that's kind of when it starts, and it'll go into the latter part of June here. It's 8 days. So here's what we decided. We're going to leave here, the Yakima, and jump in anytime you want, Oscar.
I have no idea what we're doing.
He's chatting. Well, we're going to take it day by day and talk about
we're talking about motorcycles.
The actual ride. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here.
I had to get some stuff on Amazon. Sorry. I had to get a new battery
on the motorcycle podcast.
Yeah.
So why don't you take it? Why don't you just start? I've been doing a lot of talking.
What are we doing?
And you can just, we're talking about day one. And I already did. We'll keep away from this a little bit, but we'll just do the day, and then we'll do,
oh yeah. So we're going to Boise.
Mm-hmm. Yakima to Boise.
Which is kind of the East Coast. Like if you're going east, you stop in Boise because it's kind of weird in the middle. But I'm looking forward to that. So like 84 sucks. So we got to come back the freeway. Right. I don't know. Most of you guys out there probably
I-84. We've hit it. We hit it this year on our Midwest trip to get east.
Always do to get east. Either 90 or 84. And riding the freeway sucks. So we're going to go down 395 to 26 and go east into we're going into, I think, Nampa or Boise, basically on 26. It should be an interesting ride. I've never been on that section of 26.
Yeah, and I have. It's only in a car. I haven't been on a motorcycle, but it should break it up. And that's why we did that, right?
Yep, exactly.
It's a pass, and I forget what pass the name of it is. But 26, it winds, and I've ridden it, or I've drove it in the winter, and I remember having to chain up. It can get pretty nasty in the winter, so it's definitely a pass, and some greenery. Evergreens.
I get real OCD about not going the way I'm coming back. It's just a thing that I have. Even when I drive,
try to alternate it.
I always try to loop. I cannot stand straight down, straight back, same road. I can't. And since I started motorcycle riding, it's gotten worse. So that's a nice loop. We're going to come back 84. Let's go somewhere different.
Yep. And it seems like the Gucci Pilot says Boise is and I don't know who the Gucci Pilot is. Some of you have your patron names. I don't know honestly who that is, but anyways, Boise is a beautiful town. It is. And it seems like every year we did Colorado, we hit it. And then we did Midwest last year and we hit it. And the year before that, even before Colorado, when we did our California, we hit it. And
we hit it the first year in 13 or whatever.
And it's damn fun every time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's awesome nightlife. And I've said it before on this podcast. So there's nothing wrong with stopping in Boise. And so that turned into a 454 mile day, 8 hours saddle time, guys. So by the time we do lunch, we've got a lunch stop in there. you're talking an 11-hour day, lunch and 3 gas stops. 3 gas stops that day. So we're talking about 11, that's a good day.
Right.
We got to leave in the morning, get going early and get there but we needed to make a little bit of mileage that first day. So,
when we broke that up, they're like 115 miles gas, 120 miles lunch, 115 miles gas. So you get, 2 hours and then you stretch, get some gas, then you get another 2 hours and get something to eat. So it's a good way to break up some of those longer days.
Yeah. And it looks like we got a cool brewery we found. We did all this research today, a cool brewery, around the John Day, Oregon area that we're going to stop for lunch. So that'll be fun stopping at the brewery. And then, of course, we're going to stay in Boise downtown. I picked a hotel where we can actually stay downtown. A lot of times we stay on the outskirts, but I really like a little bit more if we can afford it. We can usually find deals to be in the downtown of the area you're staying because you get to experience it more instead of staying way out by an airport away from the actual city. Then you got to ride. Or you got to Uber it, which we do a lot because we don't want to, especially if we're going to drink some beers, we want to be responsible. So we Uber it like we did in the Midwest trip this year. But it's nice to be right downtown where you can just walk to your hotel and see
and walk around and see other stuff. That's why we ride, so we can see stuff. Yeah, right. And walking's a great way to do that too.
Yep, absolutely. So let's move right into day 2. You want to pick this up? We're in Boise, Idaho after a long day, and we're back up early.
Yeah, that's a relatively short day compared to what we normally do. And we're going to go back through kind of the highlight because that's kind of a boring ride, but Craters of the Moon. And when we went through there in 2013, when we came back from Yellowstone, we didn't really spend a lot of time there. So we have some time that day to maybe check out Craters of the Moon a little bit more and take a few pictures and stuff like that.
Explain that to people that aren't from around here, what the Craters of the Moon. Let me
it's
Wikipedia.
Just this huge volcanic flow that looks like the moon. I mean, it's just it goes on forever, and it's pretty cool. I mean, we stopped for a few minutes, but we were on our return trip, and everyone was tired, and we didn't spend a lot of time. But it's really a unique, neat area if you have the time, and you're going through Oregon.
Craters of the Moon National Monument and Preserve is a U.S. national monument, national in the Snake River Plain in central Idaho. It runs along U.S. 20 between the small towns of Arco and Cary at an average elevation of 5,900 feet. It's a protected area, features volcanic, and represent one of the best preserved flood basalt areas in the continental U.S. The monument was established in May 2nd of 1924. So, yeah, the monument and preserves encompass 3 major lava fields and about 400 square miles of sagebrush stepped grassland to cover the total area of 1117 square miles. The monument covers 53,000 acres. All 3 lava fields lie along the Great Rift of Idaho. Anyways, that gives you an idea about if you want to read a little bit more on Craters of the Moon. Now, several years ago, when just Jeff and Indian John Sturgis, Jeff, Indian John, and I did our Colorado trip, which I have a 2-part documentary out on that too. We went through Craters of the Moon, but it was windy and it was like literally 80-mile-an-hour gusts. It was so windy, but we decided to ride it. We didn't get to stop very long because we were standing out there and it was just absolutely miserable with the sagebrush and the dust. And we just bagged it and rode on. I think that's in the documentary film that I made for that. So I'm looking forward to actually seeing a little bit that. And we rode through it another time too, didn't we?
On our trip Yellowstone, we came back that way.
That's right. So there you go, Boise to Jackson. You want to talk about this, where we're at on mileage and stuff?
Oh yeah, 350, 345. That's not a bad day. That's like a stop. We might.
When I see 345, I'm like, that's such a short day.
It is.
It's still
a
6 hours saddle time. It's still a 9-hour day.
I just look at the mileage. I don't really look at the time anymore because that's kind of, if you're going 60 or if you're going 70
it's relevant. To,
it's sort of relevant.
Yeah,
right. But 345 miles is a nice day. I mean, that gives us a little time to see stuff, and if we pick it up or if we ride a little slower or whatever, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to Pickles' place in Arco, Idaho.
Yeah, so we're going to stop for a lunch stop in Arco, Idaho at pickles place.
Some of these little towns we found, I'm
there
like,
wasn't
where the
hardly shit to pick.
There wasn't shit out there.
There wasn't shit to pick in Arco, and but so if you want to look up Pickles Place right now in Arco, Idaho, you can see it's like a pickle green building, and it has pickles. It has deep fried pickles, and we don't know what we're getting into, but it was better than a sketchy place you picked.
The first one.
The first one was like, dude, we straight up won't leave.
It didn't even look like it was open. There. I thought it was condemned or something.
It should be condemned.
And what did you say? You better look at the pictures. Some of these places, and I'm like, I don't know. The name sounds cool. Right. Oh, then we looked at the pictures.
Look at the inside, and there's the bar hag smoking a cigarette. When
who puts that on their website?
Who puts that on their Google like your business? You know, there's some bar hag in there
just smoking,
just sucking down a dart, and yeah, I'm like, that's not really pleasing to the eye. That I want to go in there and eat actually food out of a place like that.
But you know what? Let's face it, we've all been in one of those.
We've been in a few, especially traveling. That's why we're doing a little bit better research this trip, so we don't end up in. It's always nice. I like to look for, and I'm sure some of you guys are out there the same. I love beer. I like to try new beers. I'm really into IPAs, and so the first thing I do today when I'm planning this trip is the city and breweries, because there's a lot of cool breweries, and they're in our documentary films. Right. Just stuff we stumbled across. Mm-hmm. And I did it the same way. It was just while we're on a trip, like we're at the hotel the day before, and I go, we're riding through here tomorrow, and I would look up breweries, and and they make for some great documentary film stuff, especially if you meet locals and stuff like that. So, and not everywhere obviously has the breweries, but there's some other cool restaurants, and we found some other stuff too. But anyways, that's kind of how we went about it. So there you go. So
yeah, not much else on that one.
And I'll tell you, Highway 20. That ride in Craters of the Moon. Yeah. Besides Craters of the Moon, it's just a long nothingness highway. So there'll be a lot of nothingness. But Jackson's
beautiful.
Jackson, Wyoming.
Yeah. Hey.
We've said it in the past.
Yes.
On this episode, it's as Boise is a must stop if you're over this way. Absolutely, you need to hit Boise, Idaho. Hit the nightlife. You need to hit Jackson Hole.
It is cool.
Is the coolest nightlife party town. The $1 Million Cowboy Bar.
That was a badass bar.
That was in my documentary from Colorado when we went through there. And I'll get more film this year, a lot better, hopefully. It is just fun. It is just fun. The downtown's small, so everything's within walking distance. Right. We stayed at a hotel just outside. Some of the hotels, if you stay right in town, are actually not that nice. So they've got some new developments just off the strip, basically. Yeah,
that hotel we stayed in when we went 4 years ago was not new though. It's the same one, right? It's kind of long.
It's the same one.
That's not. Is it new? It's old.
No, yeah,
it's nice though.
Old, relevant to some of the other places, like what me and Sturgis Jeff and Indian John stayed in.
Yeah,
and there, and when we went, we stayed in town, and it was much more. It was old.
Okay.
But yeah, it's relative to the word old, I guess. But yes.
Okay.
The other one we stayed at was not great at all, but it did the job. I don't want to be too snobbish, but I prefer to look around a little bit. So that's what we wanted to do. We want to experience that, and Lurch hopefully is going on this trip this year, and he didn't really get to experience our first trip.
No,
he wasn't feeling well, so he didn't get to experience that too much. I got to experience on our Colorado trip, but I want to do it again with a little bit more time and with you guys, of course. So what else can we do? What are we thinking about in Jackson there?
Maybe seeing the Tetons. The Tetons.
Grand Tetons.
The Grand Tetons. Like to see me some Grand Tetons. Cost money to see the Tetons, but the Grand Tetons. And when we went, 4 years ago, we rode through, but we didn't really
because we came in from the north.
Yes, from Yellowstone.
From Yellowstone.
We didn't spend a lot of time there. We just rode. Hey, they're beautiful. And it was kind of getting dark.
It was dusk, so it was beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. But you didn't. I mean, it'd be cool to spend an hour there or something.
It would. So we've got two choices because that's a short day going in. We might get to spend some time that evening. It's only a 7-minute ride, 7 miles.
Yeah,
to the north.
7 miles. Yeah, it's quick.
7 miles to the north, and there's the Grand Tetons National Park there. You can just see the scenery, pictures, stuff like that. But
Darren, the Gucci pilot says the gondola runs to the top of the Tetons during the summer. Like, that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, I got to write that down. Yeah. Thanks. Let me make a note of that. So the gondola runs. What did he say? Read that again.
The gondola runs to the top of the Tetons during the summer.
How long a gondola ride is that there, Gucci Pilot, if you know? I didn't know about that. Gondola runs to the top of the Tetons in summer. I'll put that in there. We got to check that shit out, dude.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's not a big deal and we get up early enough.
Look that up. Look up gondola.
But you're asking me to do quite a bit here.
Let's see.
I'm trying to like
right over here. Gondola. Anybody else in the chat? You guys live? Anybody else done that gondola? Let us know what you thought. I'm curious. Gondola Jackson Hole Resort. I've been in Jackson Hole so many times, but I didn't know about this gondola. That's what I mean.
I didn't either.
We got time to spend here this time.
Yeah, right.
So the Bridger Gondola offers lots of opportunities for activities and dining from its location. Dining, dude, from 9,095 feet.
That would be badass.
You can hike the Wildflower Trail, top of the gondola, enjoy lunch afternoon on the deck. Dude, okay, that's a good one there, Gucci Pilot. No matter what you are looking for, okay, Pisty, I don't know, opens all day. We'll have to look into this more. Daily from 5 to 9, June 15th to September 15th.
Be the name of the restaurant.
Yeah, open daily. Okay, the restaurant. Free evening Bridger. So it just depends what time we get in there. We're going to have to research that more. I'm actually going to put this link
right on
in the document because you need to research that a little bit more. Not here now, but I put the link in there because we need to figure out if that's something and how much time that takes, whether we need to get up in the morning and do that.
Well, in June in the Tetons is going to still be, Darren said that too, there's going to be snow. So it may be real cold at the high 9,000 feet. We're going to be in some trouble.
Fred Tintori says road to the gondola, huge scenery. There will still be snow in June on the gondola, I assume. Hopefully not riding there. Anyways, we got to do more research on that. I'm looking here.
That maybe make our day shorter.
Ooh, they have yoga on deck, dude.
Oh,
look at the yoga chicks. Hot. If the yoga chicks are there, I'll get up early for that.
Oh, yeah, and fly your drone. That's not weird at all.
Not at all.
Oh, dude. Look, that guy's flying his drone over us as we're doing yoga. I'll do yoga and shit.
Paragliding, dude. I'd like to do paragliding.
All right.
Well, okay.
Can you put one of the parachutes on your motorcycle and paraglide on your bike?
That would be badass, dude. We got to look into that more. But thanks for bringing that up. And in the interest of keeping going here, so Jackson Hole, I'm going to put this actually in red so that it stands out to me on this document because I would definitely like to look into that.
Yeah,
so
that'd be badass.
So we've got a little time in the evening if we want to do stuff. Again, we're going to get in, it just depends what time we get in, and then we can get up early in the morning because why don't you roll into day 3? And this is not a huge day either. So we've got time. We've got flex time on the back end of getting into Jackson and on the early end of leaving the next morning.
So this was my favorite part. I like ride planning because I like looking at a map and just looking at all the various roads and the terrain and stuff. And so we came up with this. Because when you plug stuff into that, what's that freaking thing called? Oh, GPS. It basically takes you the direct route. And so this was going to take us straight down I-15, right? And bikers hate freeways, or at least most of the time. And so we came up with 89 down through Bear Lake. And so I'd never been that way. And you had said, hey, this ride into Logan.
In my documentary film from Colorado.
Right.
It's one of my highlights.
That's going to be badass. I can't wait to hit that. Because, shit, I mean, those kinds of roads are what we ride for.
Absolutely. And that was a little unexpected.
Right.
Little tidbit that Jeff and John, when we were riding to Colorado, we came out of Logan that morning, and it was just the way we hadn't really heard about it. It's not long, but
beautiful.
The first part of that, and then you get up, and like you say, there's an outlook, and we're coming in the opposite way this time.
We're coming from the east.
But you get to the top of that, and there you can overlook Bear Pass. Check out that documentary if you want to see that. I got some video when we were up there, but yeah, amazing overlooking Bear Lake. And so, yeah, that was funny because you get so lost in the planning and the roads, and I didn't even realize that was an option that we could take. And then you started asking about it. I go, oh, Bear Lake? Yeah, well, this and that, and we can pop right into the back of Logan, and it just worked out. So that was pretty cool.
Ironically, we had a hard time finding breweries around there.
Yes, we
And
did.
So it's right on the Idaho line. And so we were looking up this restaurant, which is in Idaho, but when you look at it on the map, it looks like it's in Utah. So we Google the Utah address, it won't come up. But it shows it's in Idaho because in Idaho, but it's like a second from the Utah line.
Yeah, I forget the lines there on Bear Lake. It splits it.
So that's cool. That's the fun part of ride planning is finding something random. Like, hey, I don't know how many times I've been somewhere and thought, I'm not taking this straight route back. and I'll pop up a map and go, I wonder how this is. Oh, it adds 50 miles. Who cares? And then it turns out to be fantastic. So that worked out pretty well.
You guys, I'm telling you, anybody who's coming on this trip will hear from the crew will absolutely enjoy that ride that day from Jackson and Bear Lake. It will be spectacular. The nice thing about that day is it's not a long ride. It's 267 miles, 5-hour saddle time. So it'll turn into a 8-hour day with lunch and gas stops.
That's nothing.
But it's nothing because we'll have time to actually stop and see that. And if it's a beautiful day, like we had a sunny day overlooking Bear Lake. By the way, I wanted to say Russell Roberts in chat says it's a 12-minute ride. So
the gondola.
The gondola.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure 12-minute ride. Yep. So I put that in the notes. So good. That's not bad. So if we got there, rode, spent a little time up there. So it might be something we'd be able to work in.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So we got the lunch stop. We only got one gas stop that day, I take it, right?
Yeah, short day.
Short day. Have our lunch. And, then we're getting into where? Salt
Lake City.
City will be our destination. Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that. We went through, the family and I couldn't go on the motorcycle ride this year because we did an RV trip 2 weeks. And we went down through Idaho and we went all over into Utah and then came back up. And so we went through Salt Lake, but we didn't actually stop. We were just freewayed through.
That's what we did this year.
Super neat area. And the geology and the geography is badass, but the town's really interesting too. So we're going to get to spend some time there.
Absolutely. Hey, Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero3D has just what you're looking for. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero3D's got your back with chrome and black parts and lighting and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero3D has a design team with over 40 years experience with a passion for design and innovation. CAN bus made simple with a plug-and-play lighting system. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email, sales@zero3d.com. Give them a call, 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for those Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for Honda Goldwings. Help support us. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero3D products. That is right. So, yeah, and so that's the deal with Salt Lake City is I have flown into it as a layover and flew out of it. I have ridden around it. I've ridden through it, around it, but I have never got to stop and actually get to experience. So I'm a little bit excited about that. I'm actually very excited about that we'll get to spend just a little bit of time in there. So, dude, here we go. You ready?
Sure. I don't know what we're doing.
Why are those very interesting? Okay. Sorry, soundboard was screwing up.
John Herzog is already trying to egg me on more food challenges.
Oh.
Yeah, and Ryan's been doing that already, and I'm going on a diet, and so I can't do it.
Because the last thing we did on this planning, and I was going to talk about it at the end, is I already have a list, and I know one place I think, and I'll talk about it at the end if we have time. Remind me. I have it on my notes here. Of course, I have that baked in, because this year, one of the funniest parts of the Midwest documentary that I'm working on in edit right now is the steak challenge at the Big Texan in Amarillo, Texas with Scooter. You guys, it is one of the funniest things that I've put together. It's just it's only a slice of this 10-day trip documentary, but yeah, we've got a couple guys, and it's fun to get them involved in eating challenges. So yes, Oscar was already just shaking his head at me.
I was.
He was trying to work on stuff. I'm like, dude, here's this eating challenge. I kept putting it up on the screen, dude, and he's just looking like, really? But damn right we will. Dang right we will. We got to do that. We got to figure something out. So I'll talk about that if we have time. So here we go. Here it is, guys. The drum roll.
What was that? You need to work on your. That was a letdown.
All right.
The
drum roll. This is the patron meetup day. All right, guys. It is going to be. Let me start off with this. Everyone's like, "Oh, what is it?" All right. So the patron meetup day. If you're new. Because this is going to go out in regular podcast format. You have to be a mid-level patron. So you have to be a mid-level patron, which means you pledge $3 per piece of content with a monthly maximum of no less than $12. So unfortunately, it can't just be the $1 level, the entry level. It's got to be mid-level. Of course, it can be higher than that, but it at least has to be that mid-level. All the details are on the patron, on our patron page, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. So as long as you're at that mid-level or above, you'll get you'll be able to attend if you are in the area. And it's going to be, and we'll tell you a little bit more detail. You need to email us and we need to get a list going and stuff like that. A lot of you have been involved in the past, but it will be Wednesday, June 19th. It will be in and around the Salt Lake City area. We don't give any more details than that until we narrow it down. And as we develop this day more, I'll get you guys and we'll verify the patron membership and we'll get you on a list that you're going to attend. And then we put out more details as we learn more about where the ride's going to be and maybe where the meetup location is going to be and where we're going to eat and chill and visit and all those. I just can't give you a lot more than that because we don't have it yet. Which is why Oscar and I are here today,
right?
Reaching out. Because the last couple years, the guys in Canada, awesome hospitality, unbelievable up there, planned a ride. And then, had a John Patton's house there, a place to do it, and all those details. And I'll work very closely with you. This year, we did it in the Midwest. The guys over there, unbelievable. The hospitality that they showed us over there, Rick Bernstein, the crew over there, set up a ride, had it all be in the documentary film that I'm editing, had a gun club set aside and cooked for us. And so we are asking for, it's the one thing we don't have is if you're a patron member, and you are interested in doing that and taking that on, of course, we will help with expenses. We help with not all the expenses. The Midwest crew was amazing. They still picked up a lot of that bill, but I sent them money. I have no problem. It's our event, so we just appreciate that. So don't worry about that by signing up that you're going to have to eat this bill. Okay, we'll pay for the food and everything, but we'll need somebody to email us. If there's anybody on here right now that's from that area, I can't look y'all up right now, and it's something you want to do, let us know right here live on this episode. If you're listening later or there's nobody here that steps up that's from that area, then please email us immediately at admin@lawabidingbiker.com and just label it Patron 2019 want to help. And I can get in direct contact with you and we can start working out a day ride and stuff like that. Me and Oscar talked about this a little bit. If we don't, and it's eventually going to happen, I think, is that maybe we don't have somebody that's going to step up or we don't have a person that has those days off that can help. It's going to eventually happen. Then me and Oscar will have to develop a ride around there and probably have to rent a place, or something like that. But we'll leave it at that right now and let me know the sooner the better. Again, Wednesday, June 19th will be the patron meetup like usual. Everybody, we will meet up in the morning at some time. We will go. The other thing I want to say about the patron day ride, it doesn't have to be something just unbelievable. There's just going to be different rides depending on your area. It needs to be a fairly short ride. The Midwest guys did it really good. The Canada guys did it good. What do you say, Oscar, on that 120 miles max or 150, 2.5 hours?
It depends on the size. I mean, if we had a huge group, shorter, small group, a little bit longer, but yeah, somewhere in the 100-mile range is pretty good.
We want to get started about 9:30. I think kickstands were up here in Papillion, Nebraska this year. And then we want to be done by, 2-ish, 3-ish. We want to get started with the meetup. We meet in the morning real quick for a half hour in a parking lot somewhere, which will to be determined. Then kickstands up. We do the ride. We usually stop maybe once real quick. And then we want to be done by 3 because we want to meet back at the place where we're going to eat and visit, because we, like this year in Midwest, and I don't mean any offense by it, I'm just throwing it out there early. I did it last year too, is we can't go all night. We want to be done by 6:30, because remember, we still have a lot of riding to do, and the rest of the sworn few. The sworn few motorcycle club has been really good. The guys about giving me and Law Abiding Biker Media, a lot of them are involved with that. That one patron day, and that's the patron day, and we dedicate it to the patrons. But we also can't go till midnight, 11 at night, because we got to get up and ride the next morning. We still got, whether we go to a laundromat, we got laundry, whatever. So it'll be done. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be planning it and it's something you're looking at. It doesn't have to be the most spectacular ride. Just take us on a ride somewhere. It's cool. It's really more about being together and riding, and me getting to meet the patrons and the guys getting to meet patrons and vice versa. And then spending that time together, eating and visiting and shaking hands and bro hugs and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. That is it. It will be Salt Lake City again, Wednesday, June 19th. Hit me up, admin@lawabidingbiker.com if you are interested in that. I will also throw out, right now, I'm going to start a list. It starts now. I know it's June, but we will have a deadline date by the time you have to know. And you need to be in the private patron-only Facebook group. I'll also probably do a patron post on it. I will give you a hard date. Do we need to do that now? Should we have a hard date on that? When they should RSVP by?
No, I don't think so. We need to give it now.
So
we'll give it a little time.
We'll give it a little time, but we will be saying that in upcoming podcasts and stuff like that. We need so the sooner you can figure it out, the better. But at any rate, when you have decided that you are going to attend, you need to email me at admin@lawabidingbiker.com. And I'll also put something out on the Facebook page. You can do a event. I'll do that event. I think that's how I did it last time. But email me, because I need to get you on an email list, basically, is why I'm doing that. So email me, admin@lawabidingbiker.com, and just say attending patron event 2019 or whatever. Make sure the subject line gets and make sure you get a reply from me. If you don't get a reply from me in 4 or 5 days, it means maybe it went to spam or something. So you need to get a reply from me. I need to start that email list so I can communicate directly with you from there on out about the exact details. So admin@lawabidingbiker.com, patron event attendance 2019, and I'll get this spreadsheet and this list started like I always do. So there you go. And I will look forward to it. I look forward to it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Canada, that was such a neat group. I mean, I missed the one last year, but what an awesome deal. And it's cool, we're on live chat or whatever. I don't always have a face to a name, but to be able to do that was awesome.
Yeah, it was. Always is a good time, and they just keep growing. So we'll see. We were looking around, me and Oscar, just at some rides, and just in case we end up having to plan it, and we saw some stuff that might make sense. But
a couple of them, those rides need a knobby tire. So I don't know if we're going to do those or not.
Yeah, we might have to stay on the paved only roads. But yeah, we kind of got off track there a little bit. But so I'm just looking at chat here. They're talking about our Iron Butt episode. So very cool, guys. All right, do you want to roll us in? So we're done with the patron event. We're done. Like I say, guys, 6:30. We're going back to our hotel, do what we need to do, get some sleep, clean up film gear, all that kind of stuff. And then and the other caveat I will say, guys, too, is, and me and Rob and Law Dog talked about it last year. I already mentioned a little bit. It's a tough deal because it's not a tough deal. We just have to follow rules. And that is, remember, this is a sworn few motorcycle club trip. And then we take the one day, and the club gave that to me and said, and they like it too, trust me, because they're all part of Law Abiding Biker Media, but we have to roll right back in. So when we started this thing, we weren't sure what we were doing, and it was only a couple guys, and so it was easy. So some of them wanted to meet us a few days before and ride legs of the trip with us, and then some wanted to meet us, go a day after and go, oh, I'm just going to ride this leg with you, and then split off. That worked for when we were smaller. But we're so big now that we actually had discussions in the club about that's why they gave me that one day. And it's not to offend anybody. We love you guys. Absolutely. But when that patron day is done, before and the day after, we're back to the club stuff, and it's the club only. Just because it gets complicated, and then you run into the issue of, well, some patrons got to ride 2 more days. And so, does that make sense, Justin?
No,
it just gets
totally
kind of, and I have to keep it really simple and fair. And so that's the only reason we do that, guys. It's not, we would love you to ride the entire trip, but we got 20 plus patrons in the Midwest. You just can't do that.
Well, in the group, we found out with these huge groups, it's some of the distances we're riding too. We have fairly precise timelines. And so we've had people want to ride and then been a little late, and it stretches into hours and it sets us back. Because sometimes we don't have cell phone communication because there's no cell towers. And so we're like, hey, we're supposed to meet these guys here. We're supposed to meet these people here. And then they can't, that stuff happens.
Yeah.
But then we've got a whole group, and because, we're planned out for 8 days, and the ride plan sets us at certain times, it gets complicated. And the bigger the group gets complicated.
It does.
And so an 8-day ride becomes kind of a disaster with too many people.
Yep.
So, and we stopped taking a lot of just random, but hey, can I go on your guys' summer trip? We whittled that way down too.
We did. That was non-patrons. There were some people around here that we
just friends
down.
That ride, right? That wanted to go, and we whittled that down a lot too because the groups were getting too big.
Yep.
And so we keep it a little more homogenous, and then this way we have a full day dedicated to it, so we don't have to like, hey, I'd love to sit and chat, but we got to be on the road.
Yeah.
Right. We got the whole day to do whatever we want. So I think it's a good compromise. It's pretty cool.
Good. Thanks for the input. I'm glad you did that. Yeah. So just don't take any offense to that, guys. And I know you guys wouldn't. It just is what it is. We got the one day. There's not before, not after ride, and it's just that one day. A lot of the guys, like in the Midwest and also in Canada, feel free, you guys, the patrons, to chill. I know Russell Roberts does that a lot. Mark Arnold from up north. They'll meet people and they'll be invited to their house to stay. I know in
Chris
Papillion,
Lezak.
they went to Rick Bernstein's house. Chris, exactly, Lezak. So feel free to do all that stuff on your guys. If you guys want to go on a patron ride only the next day, dude, more power to you, man. I love hearing that stuff. We just got to keep it to that one day because we got to get back to sworn few and keep the group small so that we can get accomplished what we need to get accomplished as a club. So, all right. Whew, why don't you take it from there, dude? You take it from there. This will be the day after we're heading out. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. What do we do? Shit, I can't. I really have a hard time multitasking.
Clearly, you're as bad, if not worse, than Law Dog. Law Dog cannot multitask.
And we would have an earthquake, and the whole building would fall down around Law Dog, and he'd still be on the chat. Beep, beep.
This is a cool. Russell Roberts brings up. He does. Thanks, Russell, for reminding me of that. It's been going on in that private Facebook group. Again, that private Facebook group is getting to something that I never, ever fathomed it would ever be. These guys are straight up. I see it, and I kind of leave it to them because it doesn't involve me. I can't keep up with it, but they are planning a trip. They have an Eastern Lab patron-only get-together. It doesn't even include us, which is cool.
That's really cool.
No, that's cool. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's because we can't do 2 lab meetups. So these guys said, hey, this is a community that we're building. This is Law Abiding Biker Media. It's a biker revolution. We want to have an Easter meetup of just the patrons because the patrons are getting to know each other as well as we're getting to know the patrons. And so make sure you're in that private Facebook group. Russell, in Tennessee, together in East Tennessee, June 22nd is what it's looking like. So I'm glad you said that, Russell. This podcast will put out ahead of a bunch of others that we have in the bucket because I want to get this out early in the year. But get in that private Facebook group. Russell, I can't remember. There's somebody's heading that up, and I'm sorry for the life of me. I got so much going on. I can't remember, but there you go. They're planning that. So do you want to take on day 5?
Yeah. So we were looking at, obviously not freaking riding. So we're going from Salt Lake to St. George. And so when we actually
St. George, Utah. A lot of people don't know where that's at.
What, a month ago or whatever, when we first kind of mapped out roughly where we wanted to go, we're like, well, Salt Lake's cool, but where else can we go? We're like, hey, Grand Canyon. Now we had just in September, part of our RV trip was in the North Rim of the Grand Canyon because the way we had it worked out, we weren't going to the South Rim. And so I said, hey, we could go to the North Rim. So we looked at St. George and we're like, that's a pretty good jump off place because it's a nice ride in and a nice ride out. So we're looking at Salt Lake to St. George, and of course, MapQuest takes us right down I-15, which blows. So we looked to the east a little bit, and there's I-89. So I'm like, all right, this I-89 is badass. It's not that much mileage or more mileage, but it's not the freeway. It's still a Utah highway, but it goes through some towns or whatever. So when you take 89 south, well, this is what we did. We took 89 south, and we put our RV in a little campground in between Bryce and Zion National Parks because we went to both.
You empty the shitter, Clark?
Oh, dude, this one park was, it was badass. It was
Whiskey Tango.
I think that the guy next to me was cooking heroin. I think, so it was pretty cool. Nothing blew up when we were there. But, so the road, so we went to Zion this summer with my family. We didn't pull the trailer, but we took our truck. I realized we can go down 89 and catch that same road through Zion and end up in St. George. And
what do you mean by Zion? Zion
National Park.
A lot of guys have never ridden that or know about it.
Oh, dude, it is. So there's
never ridden it, and I am so excited.
Utah's got some of the best national parks. Bryce, Zion, and one of the roads you can hit almost all of them. But that road to Zion.
Is there a Mormon church in Zion?
Probably
right
no,
on top of the mountain.
It's there. All the Mormons named all the peaks. I'm not kidding you. And so the visitor center's got the 3 peaks. It's badass.
And we love Mormons. We're just teasing. We got to make the Mormon jokes. It's Utah. Come on, I got lots of Mormon friends. Okay.
Ironically enough,
don't take it personal.
All those little towns are shut down on Sundays.
Yeah.
Like it's a ghost town. It's kind of
that's cool.
Different. It is.
I wish they would do that around here.
It would be nice.
Mormon or not Mormon. Yeah. That's cool.
So we're gonna ride. So the highlight of that trip, while 89, we actually extended our time down 15. So we could make up a little, like an hour. So we had more time to ride Zion because there's like 3 highlights in Zion. One of them is the Canyon Overlook Trail. So on the east side, so in Zion, when you're going east to west, there's a big tunnel. It's a mile long, carved out of the side of the rock. And so the north side of the tunnel is open, is the canyon. And then the inside of the tunnel obviously is in through the rock. So the east side of that tunnel, there's an overlook that overlooks Zion Canyon to the west southwest towards Springdale. And so if we can get there and get parking, that is a spectacular view of Zion Canyon. And then that's a road, if I could ride it on a motorcycle with no other cars on the road, would be totally badass. But it is sharp corners. There's places where there's no, like, if you screw up, there's no room for error. You're off the canyon, you're dead. But the road is badass, and we're taking it from the east to the west so we can go downhill. So we came in from the east and then had to come back up and out, and it was like right a 7,000 foot difference. So when we went in September and we went into the park from the east, it was like 65 or something. When we got down to the visitor center at the bottom, it was like 102 because of the elevation difference. And so I was like, man, coming from the west to the east, going uphill on those bikes is going to be pretty hard because sometimes you're stuck in traffic and moving 10 feet.
Right.
So the way we planned it's perfect because it's all downhill. Should be easy on the bikes. The heat won't be that big of a deal, and there's turnouts everywhere, which is a lot easier to get to on the downhill than is the uphill. So that is going to be
probably one of the highlights of the trip.
That will probably be one of the highlights
Justin,
of the trip.
Oscar here has been talking this up this afternoon.
I can't
as
wait.
We've been planning. Just looking at it, when you look at Ride Planner and you scroll out and you see that it's so fat with roads that it, look at this, Oscar. Yeah. It looks like lightning bolts. Like, because you're zoomed out a little bit, it can't show you all the switchbacks. Yeah. And so it's just these bolts and these sharp points. It looks like a lightning bolt on Ride Planner until you scroll in and you realize the reason it looks like that is because there's so many turns going through Zion National. It's Zion National Park, right?
Yep.
That there's so many curvies and loops and switchbacks. And Oscar said too, that a lot of this, Oscar, they're like drop-offs, like when we rode the $1 Million Highway. Like it's just, we rode that this year and it'll be in the documentary.
Yep.
So I'm just looking at it on the map. I can't wait. From what you've told me, I can't wait. That is going to be just
awesome,
freaking awesome.
Yep, that is going to be an awesome ride.
And that was something that we weren't planning on doing at first until we started getting into the ride plan and we realized that we could make it happen.
I basically put myself in LD's spirit. I let it settle over me, and I looked at the map, and I thought, I got my What Would LD Do bracelet out, and I set it by me, and I looked at the map, and I
that's dumb. That's gay.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
I'll just do the law dog for you. Yeah.
I just tried to give you some love, Robert.
So Zion should be freaking awesome, dude. And that turns into anybody out there in the chat? Any of you guys rode that Zion road we're talking about? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious, and give me your thoughts real quick. Yeah, Russell Roberts. Oh boy, that is gay. That's just if you want to act like talk like LD, that's all you have to do.
Shut up.
Okay, that's gay. That's gay. All right. That turns into a fairly short day from us. So Salt Lake City to George, St. George, Utah, 355 miles, 6 hours 15. So that'll be 9.5 hour day by the time we're done, and we stop for lunch. And if we stop at the lookout point like you talked about, we got to hike in a half mile.
It's a grueling half mile.
A grueling half mile might be for some of these guys. I should be fine, but
I think we'll be okay.
Why don't you talk about this? Because we need the guys to know, and maybe some of the other listeners out there aren't aware of the interagency pass. This is new to me. So tell me what this is about that you're going to need to get into these parks.
We got this year when we went, but you can buy like if you go into the national parks now, because motorcycles to go through the national parks like Yellowstone or Grand Tetons, $25 for a freaking motorcycle. And it's like $35 for a car.
Did we pay that when we went through Yellowstone?
Yeah, we did, but it was less.
It was less.
Like, I think it was like $15 or something.
I
for a bike.
Remember paying now. You're right. And Glacier National Park we paid for too. That's right.
Yes, every single time. So when we went this fall, I'm like, we're going to go at least through 3 or 4 national parks. And then we also go to Mount Rainier. I took the kids to Mount Rainier twice. So the interagency pass allows you to go onto BLM.
It's federal.
BLM,
permit.
Forest Service, and any national park. So you just have this card. You pay $80, and then so I bought it, and then I took the kids to Mount Rainier National Park, which was going to be $30 to get in, and then we went and hiked.
Did you have to buy a pass for each person?
No, it's for your car.
Thank you.
It's for me, and then whoever's in the car with you is included.
So get your interagency pass. It's $80, and that goes for. I'm making notes. BLM land.
BLM, Forest Service, and National Park.
Okay, that's so good to know. I think that'll help a lot of bikers out there, and Forest Service and
national parks.
Okay,
and so and I bought it, and then I was like, I don't know how this thing's gonna work, but it was awesome because I just kept it in my wallet, and every time we went in and out, like at the bottom of Zion, you walk in. You have to park in the little city, and then you walk back and forth. But who cares? You don't carry the paper ticket around.
Do you scan it, or do they just look at it?
I don't remember. He just looked at it. He looked at my ID and looked at it, and as long as I was with, I can't remember the stipulations if you walk in, but in a car, it's your car. Everyone that's with you, and so on your bike, it's everyone that's with you on the bike. So
we could just get one, and you could ride 2 up with me.
That's what I was hoping.
And then it's only $40
each. That would be nice to split that.
Dude.
Oh, right.
That would be sweet. Anything to save $1, man. We're cheap.
Didn't you just say something that was gay?
It is. Yeah, exactly.
We cannot ride on the same bike.
We're cheap.
If 2 dudes were to ride on the same bike, like to say from somewhere in South Dakota, somewhere in Sturgis, that would be really gay.
Right, that would be
weird.
Very, very.
Yeah, that would be awkward.
They didn't ride very far.
Get the if you guys are into hiking and stuff, or you love riding the national parks,
Gary Jackson asked, "Can the interagency pass be obtained online?"
Yes, I think it can.
How'd you get yours?
I actually went to the Forest Service here and bought it.
Gotcha. I would imagine, Gary. Let us know if anybody looks that up right now. If you see a link posted in here or something, I'll approve it. You'll get locked out for a second, but I'll approve it if you put a link in there to that. Yeah, so cool. So interagency pass, I got to get hooked up with that. Sounds like a good deal. Just makes it easier, huh?
Yes.
Than having to get cash out and all that. And we're going to 3 different places where we'll need it.
At least 3,
like that.
right?
3 different places. So if you're talking about $25 a piece, you're already at $75, and the ease of just being ready to do it. It's a 1-year permit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and I'm gonna go. I'll go to Rainier at least twice again this year.
Oh, see Rainier. Yeah, I forget about that.
It'll save me
right out our back door.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, good to know, dude. That's good that they did that and trying to make it easier for people that to know how much what each park charges to get in and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, now we're gonna get right in here too. Very briefly, is one of the main things that we're trying to accomplish this trip, basically, and but we got to do this right frickin' now, Oscar.
I don't know what am I doing.
You're doing nothing. You sit there and look pretty.
That is what I do.
Unless you want to try it, dude.
No.
Okay, it's completely up to you. Because he is up and running with his Rick Rack, just like we talked about at the beginning. I got my Rick Rack. I'm telling you guys, not just because we sell them, they are amazing, and I'm so glad we sell their stuff in the store now. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest attachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father's team designed something very special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep, and these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack Quick Detach system is strong, durable, secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your Rick Rack Quick Detach system. Once you use Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Head over to lawbuddybiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. There you go. Love mine. Have it off in less than 10 seconds. Time is money. Money is time when I'm long days and filming my documentary films, and I got film gear and a big film gear backpack, and then I got all my oops. Oh, that was ridiculous. Then I got all my luggage and all that kind of stuff just to be able to get in and out so quick is super beneficial to me. And I got the roller bag so I can just pop that rack off in 10 seconds, and I got my roller. And
you need the roller, dude, because so skinny you don't have any muscle mass left.
I don't.
Cool. Sometimes we have to roll you on your bag.
I can barely carry my 100 pounds of film gear, dude, and trying to vlog at the same time and film. It's a mess. It's a train wreck. It really is. It really is a train wreck. So what do we got going on in chat here?
Anthony Peters mentioned something about the he tried to use an and there's discounts for it. So if you're in the military or stuff like that, you can get discounts on your interagency pass. But he said in Pikes Peak National Park there was some kind of contracted company that will want to charge you. I hadn't heard of that. I don't know how that would work, but he said just to be careful if you might run into that. So thanks for that, Anthony.
Yeah, he says some parks are maintained by contracted companies and they still want your money even with the pass. I ran into that. Okay, in Colorado. Yeah, basically. All right. Good to know. Jack Wagons trying to double dip.
They want your money, bastards.
Trying to double dip. I see how it is. All right. Let's move right along, and we are going to talk about. So we went from Salt Lake City to St. George, Utah, and did anybody answer that question?
I haven't. Nothing yet.
If you can get it online, okay. Just wanted to follow up on that. So we are going to be there a couple nights. So the first night we get in, of course, after a good day, not too bad day of riding, but it should be a fun day. We'll visit and check out St. George, and then the next morning we get up, and this is what I'm also these 2 days alone riding Zion, and then getting up in the morning and then doing this. Why don't you talk about this? Was one of our main purposes because I've never got to see this.
Good. Yeah. So we the highlight or the kind of pinnacle of our RV trip this summer was going to the North Rim, and so we stayed
the Grand Canyon.
So we stayed in Jacob Lake, which is just north of the Grand Canyon. An awesome, true your
family and you.
Yeah, right in the RV at a nice campground up there. And then so for us it was a short trip, but we're coming from St. George, so it's about 150 miles one way. Some of that a little boring, but the ride from the 60 miles basically in from not Kanab, but what was that little Fredonia? There's the junction with 89 and 67. So 89, 67 is basically a paved Forest Service road into the North Rim. So at Fredonia, where 89 turns into 67, that's a nice ride. The pavement was awesome. The scenery is really nice. It's not super technical riding, but there's lots of nice cornering, and they're big bank corners and stuff, all the way down into the Grand Canyon. And once you get into the park up top, it's fantastic. The North Rim is not near as commercial as the South Rim, but it is just, man, it was beautiful.
Have you been to the South Rim?
My dad went, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and he just said he said, fuck, this place is a madhouse. And Is
it better some or just more commercialized? I mean, what's the beauty? Commercial. Is the beauty different?
It's just more commercial. And now they have that big glass walkway, so you can walk out and look straight down, like past your shoelaces, down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. That's the big attraction at the South Rim now. The North Rim doesn't have that, but you're literally...
I don't need that necessarily. I just want to see it and film it.
There's a peak trail that goes out onto this little point, and it's badass. It was a little... I'm not real big on heights, and so going out on that point with my kids, I was like, it's a little fucked up.
I'm not good at heights either. I'll do it, but I get crazy.
It was... it wasn't packed. Even we stayed all day, and in the afternoon it got a little more crowded, but ton of bikes. It wasn't real packed. There's a coffee shop, and,
Gucci Pilot agrees with you about, probably about being overcrowded and over-commercialized.
You know why? Because the South Rim is closer to Vegas.
Right.
And so a lot of people
pop up from Vegas.
Yes, right. Exactly.
I'm glad we're going to the North Rim then. Also, Russell says, yes, you can get your pass online. Thanks, Russell, for checking in that. You can get your interagency pass online. So
yes,
good.
Right.
So Yep, fewer people, Hardy Home says on the North Rim. I'm actually glad. Yeah, I love the North Rim. It's the best, Russell Roberts says. Yep, South is very busy, Charles Wilburn. Everybody agrees, so good
North
call.
Rim, yeah.
Good call. So if you guys are riding, if you're out there listening in podcast format, maybe think about taking the route we're taking and hitting the North Rim.
And the ride-in is beautiful. The ride-out's going to be a little sketchy in the dark, but...
Why are we coming out in the dark?
I thought you wanted a drone shot. And that is a big deal there. Sunrise or sunset, people
Actually,
filming.
I'll probably film it.
That's what I mean.
Just with my camera, I have to look. I believe the rules there. You can't have drones, so I'm probably just going to be able to do some film on my regular camera and some time lapse, some motion lapse.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that. So
a little sketchy on the ride out. We'll have to be careful.
Yeah, and so that's why we're riding out in the dark. Is they want to give me an opportunity to and be real. From the Cali crew, when he was riding with us, didn't he talk about that? He goes, "You have to see the sunset." He goes, "You have to be there at the sunset.
Right.
Like it's a big deal."
Right.
Like, the way he explained it, it seems like it should be dark, but it's light because it's reflecting off the canyon, and it does something weird at sunset. If you guys know,
we're way above. I don't know if you want to get down in there. That's going to be a different story.
That's
a fucking hike.
I'm going to rappel down in there.
Okay, that's cool. We'll throw you right off the edge, buddy.
Yeah, dude. Russell Roberts says most of the national parks are that way now. The funny thing is, I could get into a whole thing about that. A lot of them, they don't control the airspace, the national parks. It's kind of a complicated mess right now. Legally, I follow it close. They don't control the airspace. Only the FAA controls the airspace. So all they can tell you is that you can't take off or land in there. But if you're outside the national park, and this is case law, you can take off outside the national park and fly over because they do not own the airspace, just like airplanes can. But we're not going to get into a whole drone thing. But yeah, it is.
John Herzog says with the updrafts, not that maybe flying a drone in the canyon.
Oh, I've had some. Yeah, I know. I've flown in some sketchy stuff. But anyways, we'll all film it at minimum, and I follow those rules and what's going on very close in that industry. So, all right. So who says this? Michael White. Russell Roberts. I was going to say take off and land. Yeah, you can take off outside and fly over. They do not own the airspace, the national parks. They're getting everybody's getting a little bit stupid about drones and trying to make their own rules. And yet a helicopter flies over that's super loud and they have no problem with that. Don't get me started on my drone stuff. Just retarded. People look at the helicopter. It's rattling your windows and shit. Nobody cares.
But
that thing crashes, it's going to kill thousands of people.
Right.
If a drone crashes, it might scuff somebody. Yeah. So it's just fucking retarded.
Stupid.
It's retarded right now with drone stuff. I follow it closely. But anyways, North Rim. So super excited about that. Hopefully get some good videography, and I just want to experience it. It's on my bucket list. It's on one of my bucket list things. So
I can't wait. I'd go back.
I'm 46 years old. I don't live that far away, and I've never been to the Grand Canyon.
You are old as dirt, bro.
I know.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Just turned in November 28th.
Dang! Happy birthday, old guy.
46.
Maybe you can get an AARP card and get in the Grand Canyon for free.
Maybe I can skip the interagency pass.
Yeah. We'll just wheel you in a wheelchair.
Just wheel me in, dude. So that should be fun. We'll come back in dark. We'll take it easy because that day, although we're seeing that, it's going to be a fairly long day of just seeing the sights, but it's 296 miles. It's a 5 hour and 45-minute saddle time. So that's going to turn into
that's round trip.
That's round trip. Right.
Yeah.
So that'll turn into a 8-9 hour day.
It's a big day.
Yeah. Because we got to go. Yeah. 2 gas stops. And apparently we're going to eat lunch at the Grand Canyon area at the North Rim. We were talking about this.
Yeah. Right.
There is food there and stuff. If you guys know, but it sounds like Oscar knows.
Yeah. And the gas stop there to, Jacob Lake, there was a little restaurant stuff there too, so we can always stop there. There's shit all over, basically.
All right, good. I'm just reading the comments to see.
Fred Tintori says he's 71 and still in that. Attaboy, Fred.
That's right. And still put miles with smiles on his Road Glide. Nice. Nice. Good food there, Russell Roberts says. So there you go. Okay, good. So that's where we're planning on having lunch because that was a little bit up in the air. Couple gas stops, one on the way.
Oh, you know what they have there? A buffet.
A buffet.
Hell yes.
Your favorite? Is there a food challenge there?
It doesn't matter. I'll eat as much.
I already have some food challenges for Oscar, but you guys look forward to that documentary. Wait till you see the one from Scooter this year at the Big Texan. It's fucking hilarious. It's funny. All right. Yeah, I'm 66, still cruising, says Joe Veras. Yeah, way to go, Fred. Cool. So we go back into St. George that night. So this is our second night in St. George, Utah. right?
Right.
Okay. Pick it up
and then,
with day 7, bro.
Then the trip home, which sucks. The trip, the start of the trip home always sucks. My favorite is the start of the first day. When and you got the whole trip in front of you. Now we're gonna.
And you can only think about what the trip's going to bring, and are you going to get to see everything you want to see, and what kind of debacles are going to happen?
Oh, dude,
yeah.
I love it. So
it's exciting.
The first day of the trip home, you're always like, damn, dude. So St. George to Twin Falls is going to be a little bit of a ride, about not quite 500 miles.
We got 2 days to get back home from here, basically.
Yeah, and that's what happens sometimes when you destination ride, because we wanted to get a little farther, and getting to St. George is worth every penny for a couple of long days home. So St. George to Twin Falls, basically up 93. It's kind of boring. There's some mountains and stuff in there, but there's really not a whole lot there. So we found and it just makes me appreciate what LD does for us every year, because I'm like, hey, we got this far, we didn't think about gas stops. Some of these, legs, we didn't think about gas stops. So we went back and I was looking for gas stops, and we found Pioche. It's either Pioche or Pioche.
Pioche. That's where to say Pioche.
Pioche.
Pinoche. Put an N in there.
Pinoche. Which, so Pioche, Nevada, I think has a gas pump. It looked like that station had one gas pump.
Did you really zoom in on Google?
No, but it said gas.
Okay, all right, it just said gas.
Yeah, it just said gas pump.
We have the gasse.
Gasioche.
And Pinocha. That's all we need.
We have no idea what we're going to find in Pioche, Nevada, but that's our first gas stop. I didn't even look like there was a true restaurant there. There might have been some chips in a bag at the service station.
Right.
So, but that was only like 100 miles, so a short trip. And then we're going to Ely, Nevada, and then that's lunch and gas, and then we'll hit Wells, and that'll be a nice breakup, 120 to 140 miles a leg, and it'll be fine. Up to Twin Falls, Idaho.
Mm-hmm. And we went to Twin Falls this year on our Midwest trip. We stayed in Twin Falls. Was that our first day? I think we rode straight through from Yakima to Twin Falls. And it's not a huge town, but wait till you guys see. We got up the documentary film I'm working on right now. Some of that drone footage I got early in the morning at sunrise in the Snake River Canyon. That's the canyon that Evel Knievel jumped. Unbelievable, stellar footage, and so beautiful. And I totally plan on doing that again. That just filled my spirit right there. I'm telling you what. So I want to experience that again. I don't know that we probably won't get in time for sunset. If we do, cool. I'd like to do sunset because I've already done sunrise there. So sunset would be really cool. You get the base jumpers off the bridge there that runs across it, which is really cool to watch those guys. So if you're in the Twin Falls, Idaho area, I'm looking forward to that. Not a big town, but they've definitely got plenty of restaurants, plenty of hotels. And that's what we plan on doing there.
Russell Roberts said maybe no gas in Pinoche.
So we may have to change that up, dude. We may have to change that up.
Hold on. Darren says we're going to go past Great Basin National Park. I'm going to look that up real quick. Oh,
please do.
Shit. Wait a minute. I may not be able to get back to the chat. I might be screwed. I just
open another tab.
I did that. But I'm not sure what's going to happen right now.
Do you have the link in the email still?
Yeah, I have everything.
Well,
I'm just feeling nervous.
For good.
You know what?
God.
I just farted.
Good God. That's ridiculous, dude.
So what do we do at Great Basin? Looks pretty cool. Lehman Caves? Oh, badass.
Is this supposed somewhere we're supposed to stop?
No, we're just going to pass by it on our way up on 93.
93?
That's a pretty good day, whether or not
That's the problem, is that's already almost a 10-hour day.
Well, maybe we'll make it
10-hour, 15-minute day. Mm-hmm. It's a 500-mile day.
Hold on. I think, is this 93 right? Oh, let me
That's
check.
the only problem. But
yeah.
I want to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be pretty close.
What is it?
It's a national park.
Okay. Do you ride the national park?
No, it's
Do you have to detour or you just stop by?
No, we would have to detour into it.
Okay.
I think.
We'll definitely list it just in case we look into that more.
Put that up. Put it on the notes so I can.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the more national parks we can go to, the better. They're awesome.
What's it called?
Great Basin.
Great Basin
National Park. Let me see if I can get back to the chat here. Oh, hey, look, I got back here. That's pretty cool.
Great Basin National Park, and that's up 993 from St. George.
Yeah, I think so.
To Twin Falls.
I think LD's talking shit in here.
What's new?
Oh, yeah. He said, I never went somewhere that didn't have gas, idiots.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? You have no sense of adventure yet. Never mind. I'm not going to use foul language.
I will say LD doesn't usually put the gas stops in the ride plan here. He just like wings it in the morning.
He makes shit up. He rides right by him while he's watching his GPS.
Did you know what else, LD, since he's going to talk shit, you know what else he does? Because he doesn't plan. He carries another 1 gallon of fuel in his saddlebag. He does.
I know.
He had it this year on the Midwest trip. It's one of those little ones that contours or it's a half gallon.
Yeah, burn.
I know how it is, dude. Straight up. Mm-hmm.
That's
there
right.
You go. All right. So, so Twin Falls, that should be fun. Again, hit that Snake River if you can. Anything else on that going on in the chat on that, Oscar?
No. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to type. I can't. John Stevens had to go to bed, so I was telling him bye. We'll miss you.
Oh, is he going to bed? Night-night. Night-night. I won't be walking. Yeah, I won't be walking. He puts an exclamation point in response to my gas jug, dude. That's hilarious. Oh, good.
All right. Okay, so last day.
Let me look at here real quick, Oscar, to see if we got any other business to take care of, and we most certainly do.
Oh, you want me to hit those up? I can do those. Those are better.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Wayne Johnson of San
These
Angelo.
are donations.
Listen.
We love our patrons. We want you involved. We want you part of the Facebook group. We want to get to know you better, but we never. If the only way you can support us is a flat donation, we never balk. At a flat donation. We want to thank the following people.
I was going to get there if you would just give me some responsibility.
You just start out. I want to thank Wayne for what?
I was going to say of San Angelo, California for his generous donation, you douchebag. Ray Colbreth of Walla Walla, Washington, not too far away.
Walla Walla, the city's so great they had to name it twice. Walla Walla!
You need to put your nose in the corner and think about what you just did. Ray left the message. Great job, very impressed and thankful that he found us. Thanks for that, Ray. We appreciate it. And for his awesome donation, Gary Williams of Paragould. Well, it's probably got to be Arkansas, but it could be Arkansas.
Arkansas. Matt must have put that one in. I'll blame it on Lurch.
State guys, does this. They can't spell.
Lawabidingbiker.com/donate is how you get hooked up with that little gig right there. You want to support us that way, that's just fine too. So thank you to all those that supported us that way. So we're moving it on, and this is our last day.
Day.
And we got some little bonus material here to talk about. Jeez Louise, dude, can you believe that? It's already an hour and a half.
I know. I thought, it's going to be short today. It never goes short.
That's fun, though.
Remember back in the day, you're like, this is going to only be 52 minutes tonight.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Now we're like, whatever.
And we're trying to call it. We're telling each other it's 60 minutes. And we didn't know. That was kind of the standard. Then we figured out our audience doesn't really care.
Yeah, that's true. Whatever. Just ramble on or whatever. Yeah. All right, last day. Sucky last day. Twin Falls to home on I-84, the most boring freeway on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 82 is pretty boring, but 84 sucks.
It's just as boring, 82, 84. They're just 4 lanes, 2 in each direction, median.
Freeway. Sagebrush.
70, 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Hot.
Although there's the one pass just on the east side of Pendleton.
Right.
That's okay.
You do hit some mountain. It's pretty. Yeah, you're right. We hit that this year. So, yeah, it is. It's a breakup. Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be another close to 500-mile day. We got 3 gas stops. Three gas stops, one of those being a lunch stop in Boise. Baker City, sorry. So we'll stop for gas in Boise and stop for gas in
Gonna hit a pub there. We want to try a new pub.
Baker City, yep. And then probably stop in Prosser, Benton City or something as we get close. And usually about that time's when kind of we start to split up a little bit. Guys are going different directions.
Yep.
So somewhere in there, we'll just do whatever.
Yep. And that's a 500-mile day, basically 7.5 hours saddle time. So that'll turn into a 10, 11-hour day by the time we get home. Depending on how long we spend at lunch and that kind of stuff. But, I-84, and that's always just, like you said, to destination to get to the North Rim, which is really our ultimate goal. Jackson was a big topic that came up. Jackson, Wyoming, the guys wanted to hit that again, and then the North Rim came up. And so we planned around that, and we're able to make it work. And because we're making it work in 8 days, we got to bomb those last 2 days, as you can see.
Right.
Because the day before that is about the same, isn't it?
Yep. Pretty close.
So basically 2 10-hour days, the last 2 days, saddle time or total days, not saddle time, 8 hours saddle time, but 7.5, something like that. But those still aren't terrible compared to some of the Midwest days.
Yeah, right.
that we rode this year, that 10-day trip. So I'm still looking at those going, man, that's a little bit better. But I really feel overall like this trip is going to be much more relaxing. And we could tell a lot of people that don't know us, that maybe don't ride a lot or just haven't ridden cross country, you could throw this trip in front of them and they would still, forget. They would be like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's a long ways to go.
I am not riding that many miles because our total trip here is 2676. It'll actually be more than that if we head up to the Tetons. So you're looking at a 2,800 mile trip.
Yeah, it's pretty good in 8 days.
So we forget. We've just done some other stuff, and I know a lot of you guys out there too ride even farther than us, and that's cool too. But you throw this in front of some people, and we look at it and go, this is a much more relaxing trip to a lot of people that are like, that is not relaxing. But hey, if I get more than 4 hours of sleep a night, That's be happy.
Good. Yeah.
I'll be really happy with this trip. And if I can actually experience, like we went to Kansas this year, like I brought up at the front of the show, I didn't even get to see Kansas. We went to a Royals game, but I didn't get to spend, and I ate dinner there, and then I went to sleep, and I blew past Kansas again. So
if you saw the Royals, you basically saw Kansas. I mean, they both suck.
Right. No, trust me. I don't even like baseball. So it was just to hang with the Tennessee guys. But
how many Starbucks?
It was, yeah.
Darren asked how many Starbucks are planned into our.
Oh, true.
Oh, hey, we're getting into there may not be too many Starbucks in Utah. We saw one when we were down there.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. We might have to hit some local Mormon run coffee shops.
What will happen to you, dude? You might fall down dead. Like, that'll be it.
Oh, I just need coffee.
We'll have to call a Mormon
It doesn't have
ambulance.
to be Starbucks. The only reason I go to Starbucks, I told people, is because you don't know what kind of coffee you're getting. At least, Starbucks is not my favorite coffee. There's a lot of places that make it better, but it's consistent. And that's the problem when you go to town. Sometimes you go to these little stands, you're like, that tastes like absolute horse
You mean like
shit.
7-Eleven?
No,
that coffee's badass.
It is badass.
Mickey D's.
Any these little espresso shops, you can just get burned. So that's the only reason we do that. But
coffee snob. That's basically
seems like
what it is.
Utah. We stopped in Logan. There might not be.
We found one on our trip. We didn't stay in Salt Lake, but we found one in Vernal, and then we found one somewhere else. And Vernal's a pretty good sized city.
Dude, Starbucks has infiltrated, like Google and Amazon have infiltrated the United States. So
I know, but they're more on the west. Than
there's one in
places.
Logan. There's one in Salt Lake City. There's Starbucks everywhere, dude. In
but listen,
Utah.
There's one in Salt Lake City. There's like 17 in Yakima.
True. So, anywhere West Coast, dude. Yeah, anywhere West Coast. There was plenty of Starbucks even over in the Midwest, even in Papillion, Nebraska, and all that, and around there, Omaha. There was plenty of Starbucks. But yes, we don't actually plan those in. That's usually where I go in the morning to catch up on my documentary film and transferring files to hard drives and getting the day planned out and all that kind of stuff, handling some business online, answering some law-abiding biker emails. Okay, so thanks for sticking with us, guys. Let's wrap it up here. I told you I'd bring this up. Let's look. Anything going on in there?
I missed some of the stuff when I'm switching back and forth with my tabs.
Yeah, Starbucks every corner in Tennessee, Russell. Yeah, I honestly, there's no states. Starbucks has straight up infiltrated the entire United States, like Google and Amazon. So
they just haven't infiltrated Mormon land yet because there are not very many down there. There's not very many down there compared to everywhere else.
There's correct, but there's still Starbucks. They've still infiltrated the Mormon towns.
Wait, why don't you Google how many Starbucks are in Salt Lake? A population of nearly 1 million.
Let's see.
How many? And then I'm going to Google. Wait, I'm going to do this. I'm going to Google.
I hope this is interesting to people.
Starbucks are in Seattle. It's a city of
Salt Lake City. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're getting burned here, dude.
Starbucks
13,
won't even answer the question
14,
of how many
15,
how many are in Seattle.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20 Starbucks in Salt Lake City, Utah. And that's first page. You want me to go to second page?
Hey, look, Starbucks has 23 coffee shops for every 100,000 residents in Seattle.
Let me just give
That means 230 Starbucks in Seattle, and there's 19 in Salt Lake.
No, 20.
Oh, 20.
21. 20, you're making me go to page 2, 22.
There's 200
23,
in Seattle.
24, 25, 6, 27, 28. That's there's only 2 pages. There's 28 Starbucks.
Population 1 million. I mean, you're killing me.
Dude, straight up. You lost on that one.
There's like 500 in the greater Seattle area.
You're right. You're right, but they've infiltrated everywhere.
They have.
They really have.
It's
Starbucks has a way of getting in anywhere they want, bastards. All right. So we talked about interagency pass. I want to talk about the eating challenge real quick. So I've got at the bottom of my notes before we wrap this up, I do have look at MISC, miscellaneous eating challenges. And I really want to do the eating challenge probably our first night, maybe getting into Salt Lake City, Utah. I have a couple places here. Now, this is my research I found, thelucky13.com. And let me explain this to you. I'm going to put it in the chat if you guys are still around and you want to have fun in the live chat. It's the Lucky 13. And if you finish the Big Benny and the Lucky 13 burger by yourself in 1 hour, and they are on us, and we will pay you cash. See rules for details. I think it costs $200 to enter.
Whoa.
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell by what that is. I got a call. But I don't know if that's... Or maybe you win $200. See rules for details.
I think you win $200.
I think you win $200. And the meal's on us. I don't know how much the meal costs. Yeah, you're right. It's $200 you win. If you do it under 12 minutes, you get $1,000. But there's only been one person that did it in 12 minutes and 39 seconds. If you guys see this, if you look it up, if there's a YouTube video on it too. So that's the one. That looks like a mess of a challenge, dude.
Yeah.
You saw the YouTube video.
Yeah.
The guy couldn't do it.
No.
The other one I see, which is the Blue Iguana, Salt Lake City. And I'll put the link in the live chat here for you guys if you're interested in that all. It doesn't really have that on there, but their website says, or another article I wrote, let me actually put that. This is the article that I'm referring to. I'll link it here. Article. And anyways, in this article, they list the Blue Iguana, and you finish the Blue Iguana's burrito grande and get a free dessert.
I could probably do that.
This is not, I don't know if this is much of a challenge for you. The burrito is stuffed with 3 pounds of beef, chicken, and chili verde, plus rice and beans, then covered in Spanish rice. That's still a good meal, dude.
That's
3 pounds of beef,
burrito.
rice, and beans. So maybe we'll go for that. I have trust in you.
Holy shit! But did you see all the fries in that Lucky 13 one?
I know, dude.
That's
it would make for a great video,
the one
a documentary,
Canada,
dude. The people. Do you guys want this? Do you guys want Oscar to puss out, or do you want him to go for the Lucky 13 and get good documentary film stuff? Because you guys tell me. I mean, I'll do whatever you want. Oscar's he gets some peer pressure, so let me know in the live chat. It's up to you guys.
A lot of times I fold under peer pressure. But the hamburger I had in Canada, when I did the one in Canada, the hamburger was delicious. It was the ancillary shit that I ate that drug me down a little.
You still completed it though.
I know.
So you haven't been
one wasn't that big.
You haven't been defeated in a documentary film yet. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying, dude?
You're killing me right
So here we go. I'm just going to play this. Now I'm not going to play it because we're on podcast, but I'm going to share the link with the live audience here. See what you get to do live if you guys become patrons. If you're listening to some podcast format, you're really missing out on this stuff. I'm putting the YouTube link in there just so you don't have to watch the video because it's okay. It's not that great, but you get to actually see a picture, a live video of what this is about. Look at this, Oscar.
I know.
Dude, I'm just going to mute that. That's a lot of food, but I think you could do it, dude.
But I don't know about the fries. Look at that hamburger.
The Gucci pilot says, Oscar, I'll donate the Elax.
Yeah. X-Lax.
Or X-Lax. Yeah, Elax. X-Lax. Oscar. Michael White says, yeah, Oscar would make it look like it wasn't a challenge. Yeah. See, people have faith in you, dude.
No, they're just trying to egg me on. So you can see me vomiting in a stall in the bathroom because you will follow me in there too, won't you? And then the camera will be over.
I can't tell you what happened to Scooter this year. You got to watch the documentary film because I can't tell you whether he vomited or not.
I did a 6 pound burrito and I vomited in Toppenish.
You did, huh?
Yeah.
I remember you talking about that food.
I made it like 15. Look at that poor guy. Look at his face.
Now he finished the first one. He finishes half of this, dude.
Look at the jalapenos in there.
He finishes half. That's what he says at the end. He's like, this is so just, maybe he's not good with heat stuff, but he taps out. Anyways, just look at that, guys. If that's what you want Oscar to eat, the Lucky 13, just everybody write Lucky 13 and we'll know that that's what we have to go for. Just I love Oscar. I love Scooter because I could never even come close to this. Even even when I was fat, Ryan, and I was big, I couldn't eat. You guys have a special gift. I'm just saying, dude. All right, what else before we take this out of here? I got those notes. Anything else, Oscar, before we take this out of here? Lucky 13. Look at all. Fred Tintori, Lucky 13. Russell Roberts, Lucky 13.
Damn you all.
Oscar, at least if you blow chunks, you won't need someone to hold your hair back. Cherry the Gucci pilot says, yeah, no doubt. Lucky 13, Michael White. Dude, it's all Lucky 13. We're going to Lucky 13.
I don't even know who asked anyone out here. You know what? You can go put your nose in the corner again. That's not right. I don't always make good shit.
Oscar, you are the UFC champ of food challenges. That's Greg Doncaster. So before we take this out, let us know, guys, the blue iguana. Greg.
Oh, thank you, Greg. That's a little bit more manageable.
Greg, yeah.
And I like dessert.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to vomit dessert, and then I might as well at least
that's
eat
not
it.
the dessert. That's the burrito.
No, I know, but you get the free dessert.
Oh, you get the free dessert.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. But you can't ever eat it. You take it to go bag because you're so full.
No, I'm eating that shit.
You would.
Oh, yeah.
If you finish that on top of that, it'll make a great film.
Okay.
But
all
guys,
right,
the documentary film, I'm in like 70 plus hours of edit. From the Midwest trip, the 10-day, it will be well over 100. I will be putting it out and give you more details on that. I'll be putting out a YouTube thing. Like last year, when it does come out, I want to have it out before Christmas. I just don't know. I've been working every night and every weekend, just hours and hours in the editing studio, just like a cave. Although it's fun, it's challenging. I hope that you guys like those documentary films. We have a page on the website now dedicated to all the documentary films I've made. We will be selling it for a while, just like the Reno documentary film we made. I have to try to do that to recuperate the massive amount of man hours and equipment. I just upgraded some more film equipment, and these things take a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort. So I love doing them, but that information will be coming out on this podcast, but also I'll be doing when it does go for sale. I will put out a YouTube video explaining it and kind of how you can get that film well ahead of time, because it'll probably be out a year or so before it goes public. There'll be some other details on that, but I'm changing the way I'm doing stuff. I have to, guys. And I know you guys understand because you're patrons and you're in here. The regular public, some of the people that watch the YouTube channel think everything should be just 100% for free. Well, when you put 125 hours just into editing, and then you filmed it for 10 days, and the expensive gear that I have to buy, and a lot of it sometimes breaks, and I'm up in the game and trying to make it more intriguing. And, if you think about all that stuff that I have to try to at least recuperate some of those hours of time.
Let me tell the stories. The story, remember the one I told you, the link I sent you? I won't use the name of the, so to kind of illustrate that is, so when I watch Ryan's videos, because they're interesting, and YouTube makes you a kind of a channel for you. So biker videos pop up, and this biker video popped up about the Indian motorcycle. I'm like, hey, I'm going to watch this and see what this looks like. And, dude, it was terrible. I mean, just the presentation that you have, the presentation that this guy had was terrible. And I get it, not everyone's meant for this kind of stuff, but the videos...
And you would have said that when I started too, but yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I watched the videos from the very beginning, and so you just have a talent for it. And so the videos that you're producing, as far as like they're low on the suicide scale. Let me put it that way. You don't want to shoot yourself or your laptop when you're watching these videos.
Right.
And not everyone can do that. There's a lot. I've watched a bunch of them. Some of them are okay, but man, there are so few. And then you get some of the guys that don't have any teeth, can't spell their own name, and I'm not against Busch Light, but they should drink a few after they're finished, not the whole box before they start. So the video quality, even the free ones, they're so varied. So with Lab, the consistency is amazing, and it's just gotten better. And the first videos they were good, but they've just gotten better. So,
yeah. Russell says no. You have to keep it all flowing cash. Yeah, you got to charge. I couldn't have built what we've built without you guys, and to continue. And there's not anybody really doing a bunch of motorcycle documentary films like I'm doing. So. And I know they're so appreciated. When you look at the Canada documentary, it has like 170,000 views.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, and the Reno one's just, I kept it for 9 months before I released it. It was for sale. And a lot of people bought it that want to support me, bought it up front so they could have it early. And I just have to do that. The amount of time I'm putting in, enough said. I know you guys are preaching to the choir because you guys understand that not everything can be done for free, that this stuff costs money, and a massive amount of hours away from my family in the editing room every night after work and in the mornings and weekends. And so during the holiday seasons, I have a little time off, of course. During my vacation, I will be working more on the documentary film.
You're working.
And here I am.
Vacation, yeah.
So, but I know you guys appreciate it, and I appreciate that. So it'll be coming on the YouTube channel when I have it up, and I'll give how to get it and where you can get it and all that kind of stuff and all the details. Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
See, I think it's this mic, dude.
We need a mic cord.
No, I changed the mic cord, and it was good for a long time. That's why I told Lurch, I think this mic is just really intermittent, weird like that, because I changed this cord and it's been good for like 6 months. That's frustrating. All right, guys. With that said, thanks for being on the live chat. We really appreciate having you guys all here and being part of the community. And again, Oscar, like you asked how long this was going to go.
Well, no, whoops. I should have known better.
Now you know the rest of the story, dude. So, let's take it out of here, guys. Love you guys, both the patrons and the regular podcast audience, of course. But being here and chat, we got some good ideas. And don't forget, guys, admin at lawabidingbiker.com. Whether you're listening live right now or the regular podcast, if you're a patron member, mid-level or above, and you want to attend that patron event, and you think you can, we will have a deadline eventually. We're just not putting it out yet. Private Facebook group is where you need to be, and I'll put out that event and stuff like that. But I do want to remind you that if you know you're going right now, admin at lawabidingbiker.com, Wednesday, June 19th, during the day, in the Salt Lake City area, Salt Lake City, Utah. The sooner you get signed up, the sooner I can get you on the list and your email and all that, and we can really start plugging this in. If you are in the Salt Lake City area or surrounding areas, we are looking for a patron member to assist us with the challenge of getting the patron event set up, a short day ride. Doesn't have to be long, 100 miles, a little over 100. Early patron event around 3 o'clock, somewhere we can meet, somewhere we can eat. We will, of course, finance it, so don't worry about that. Don't let that be the bar that's holding you back. The finance part of it is a Law Abiding Biker Media event. I have no problem, forking out the money to make that event happen. It's a very important, integral part of Law Abiding Biker Media. So hit us up, admin at lawabidingbiker.com, if you are one of those people that really wants to get involved. And it's usually beneficial if there's several of you. That's kind of how they did it in Canada and how they did it in the Midwest this year, is they had one main person that I, connected with, and then they had all the other local patrons around them. Let's look here real quick as we take this out. I'm just going to type in, I'm not going to mention any names. I'm just going to type in, go into the back end of our patron here and see if we have anybody. I mean, they could be from Ogden too, you know what I mean? But I'm just going to see. Yeah. I'm just going to type in Salt Lake and do a search. We have 0.
Yikes.
So type in Ogden. 0 from Ogden. That's what I'm saying. We may be doing this on our own.
Provo?
Nothing. Let's see. We know we have some from Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, and it says 0. So what am I doing here? That doesn't make sense.
Oh,
that's because their addresses aren't up. It won't search by that.
Oh.
Never mind. My bad.
Basically a major failure.
My bad. Yeah. You know what I'll have to do? I'll have to download this as a CSV.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds real fancy.
And then I will have to search it.
Russ says that Randy Patton's in that area.
Yeah, sorry. And I totally screwed that up. I'm seeing if I can search this.
I have no idea what's going on.
Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, we do, as I'm searching through here. But I need to find them. I think their addresses are in here. Yeah, see, they're... Stick around if you want to stick around. If not, you can go. I get it. I'm just searching. And I'm sorry if I said that. I can't know all
I'm going to sing Amarillo by morning
dresses.
While you're searching. Amarillo by morning, up from San Antone. Everything that I got is just what I got on. Okay, that's all. Pretty soon I'm going to sing more. Am I blue? Am I blue? I've got a voice made for not radio.
I'm searching. So I'm searching up. I downloaded a PDF or a CSV, and I'm not getting anybody from Salt Lake. But we have Utah, guys. Let's just do Utah. So why is that? I think I'm searching this wrong. Let me see here. Utah.
No one liked my singing.
31 found from Utah. So let's go through them here, Oscar. This is just bonus content if you guys want to stick around. We are still live. So we got there. What's so funny? Read it if it's funny.
None of them liked my singing except Gucci. He said something was stirring in his pants. He didn't say which part. Like, so it could be good or bad.
That's nice, dude. I'm looking for. I only have a couple. There's another one from Utah, but you're seeing the cities. I don't want to name any names right now. Yeah, we don't have a ton. Very interesting. So anyways, it may be, guys, that we end up planning this ourselves. If there's nobody that steps up there, I don't know how close that is. Where's Hiram, Utah?
I don't know.
There's a few. I'll have to look through this closer. I don't want to bore you guys, but if we have to, we will. We'll look into some renting a place or a restaurant. Maybe there's a hotel with a banquet room. We'll figure something out. We'll make it happen. And I know a lot of you guys that if you end up riding in there early, can be a connect for us too and all that kind of stuff. But
dirt lot, blue tarp will be good.
Exactly. That's all we need, dude. Cancel that. Get out of this. Numbers, quit. But that gives us an idea. Yeah, no wonder. I'm glad I didn't search that way. That wouldn't have worked. But all right, guys. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for being here, guys.
And we'll see where it goes from here when this comes out. Of course, a lot more people will hear it when it comes out. In the podcast format, I'll try to put it out and bump it ahead a bunch of other batch process so that we can get this word out and continue this thing we call the Biker Revolution with another 2019 patron meet up. All right. John Herzog. I've had a few songs destroyed by Lab and now can't listen to. Nice. Glad we could help. We're all about serving the community, even when it's like destroying songs. Yeah. All right.